Can you imagine your life where money is your friend, working with you to achieve all your dreams and desires? If you struggle seeing money as your friend, then join Kathy Cook Noble, financial advisor and educator on understanding how your money can work for you. It is possible. Now, here is Financially Speaking with Kathy Cook Noble.
Good afternoon and welcome to Financially Speaking on the Inspired Choices Network. I'm your host, Kathy Cook Noble, and we get together every Monday night and we talk finance, whether that is a problem or a confusion or even something good and exciting. We do that too. But usually what the process is people approach me either in my practice every day as a financial advisor or as a bookkeeper, or family members or friends. They stop and they'll ask me a question about something that they've heard on either TV or radio or seen on the internet, and they're confused on it or they don't quite understand it. And a lot of the time they're afraid to ask other people. And I've got people that have said they have financial advisors and they're afraid to ask them because they don't want to look stupid. And most of the time that's the women. And I find that sad because the job of the advisor is to help you, not to make you feel bad. And that's what we do here. So since that's happening in the world and in our industry, Financially Speaking was born to just break down some of the myths and confusions and just make it as easy as it really, really is, because it is easy and you can understand your own stuff. You can be very successful, and that definition of success is entirely independent. And I tell people all the time, money has no feelings. It has no emotion. It's not sitting out there worrying that you're not taking it or worrying that you've spent it. It's just sitting there. If you want it, then receive it. And it sounds simple, and it is that simple. And that's what we do here on Monday nights. And almost every one of my shows, the hot topics, comes from something someone's asked me about. And I encourage you to please continue right in, ask me the questions. I will do a show on it. If there's something out there that we need to myth bust about, then we will do it, and we will break down the confusion for it. And I just did the show, which was actually super fun, with my youth co-host, Ashley Quinn Hogan. She comes on a couple times a year and every quarter, and she shares a lot of the youth investment stuff. And her and I, once in a while, get to do a show together. And we did, and it was very cool because it was all about cryptocurrencies and NFTs and all that crazy stuff that you're hearing about on the TV and the radio and reading about it on the internet and saying you still don't understand what it is. So we did that last week, and that was a lot of fun. And then I have these great opportunities where I have guests that are able to come on and share their wisdom, their expertise, and their incredible amount of knowledge that they have in their particular area. And tonight is no exception. We have an amazing, amazing guest tonight that I'm anxious to share with you. So I'm going to jump right in with that. I have Sarah Hilton with us tonight, and she is the director of a program called LeadHERalliance. It's a mentorship program for women. LeadHERalliance is a no-cost mentorship program that's designed specifically for women. This is so cool and so exciting, and not surprising to me because Sarah's usually involved in the cool and exciting stuff. So I love having her. I love talking to her, and I'm excited to have her tonight. So Sarah's she explains how LeadHERalliance benefits women from all work fields and builds success for future generations. And Sarah and I are going to talk about mentorship, why it's so important, especially for women. And not just in finance, just in general, even for mentorship. And communication is everything. Sarah speaks and shares through helping others tell their story. She's a certified world-class speaking coach. She's a mental health specialist. She has worked with thousands in supporting others to find their voice and share their stories. My opinion is she has all the ingredients to help you be successful. She has all the training for especially the last few years that we've been through. She has all the training, and she is an absolute gem of a resource. And I'm excited to have you here tonight. Sarah, thank you, and welcome back to Financially Speaking.
I'm so excited to be here today, Kathy. I've been thinking about it all morning and throughout the day. And first off, we get to chat, so that's always fun. And secondly, I get to talk about my favorite topic, which is mentorship and business and how they tie together. So happy to be here.
Absolutely. And Sarah was on the show, believe it or not, it's been years, like 3 or 4 years ago. Sarah was on, And I can't believe it's gone that long that I haven't had you back. But I'm so grateful that you did come back and join us today. And I think it's at a really, really fundamental point in our time, just with the world readjusting and finding out what's, people say the back to normal, the new normal, whatever it is. There is no normal, in my opinion. And I think it's just everyone finding their way and how it fits for them and how it works for them. And truly, whatever their level of success is and however that looks, I think it's very independent. And I think maybe that's part of what I think misses the mark and the throwing everything at a macro level. But the beauty of it is having people like you who are able to really hone in on what matters and what works for people and help them really bring out their own brilliance and unique skills and abilities. So maybe what I'll do is, because it's been a while, we'll share with our listeners. You can share just a little bit. You have an amazing and unique background, so it's super cool. And just share a little bit of where you come from and how you got to where you are.
Awesome. So you always talk about, we talk about when failures become your successes. That's my story too. I was working for Canadian Mental Health Association and working in the mental health field. I applied for a job to be a public educator, and I didn't get it. I was told I didn't get it for 3 reasons. One is because I don't know how to talk the corporate or the workplace. I've always been a nonprofit. The second one is because I didn't have a degree. And the third reason I was told is because I was not a good presenter. And here's someone that loved to be on the stage, loved to share messages, loved to tell stories. And so it wasn't long after that I went into business for myself. And there started Spoken Advantage, which is still my business today. And in that, I've had a couple of other experiences and other opportunities. One was to start a company called Stressed Out Solutions, SOS. And we worked with companies like Starbucks and McDonald's and unions and different smaller businesses, all putting mental health back into the workplace. Let's talk about it. Let's have conversation and communication about it. Sold that company a few years ago and carried on with Spoken Advantage. And now I'm so excited because as part of Spoken Advantage, I'm helping the communication through LeadHERalliance. And so we're a mentorship program helping women, lifting up other women and helping them find their voice. So that's kind of where we're at today, where I do some speech coaching. Absolutely. Still, I help business owners get their message out there in different ways, especially through communication. And then the third piece is I have actually now changed over, even from when I sent that information, is as I'm VP for LeadHER Trucking, which is one of the components of the program.
Awesome. It's always incredible to me because I was very shy as a kid and really as an adult. And Sarah was a huge help to me, huge help. Like, I don't think I would have done this show, honestly, if it wasn't for working with you. And there was a few times when I had to do something, and Sarah's the one. I always think of Sarah because she's so good on what she does and so genuinely authentic with everything you do, Sarah. So I am like a huge fan. And I think that it's exciting for me to see that you're now in this, advanced farther into a role where you're helping other women in mentorship, because I remember Warren Buffett saying that if he was speaking to the MBA class at, I forget what, Cambridge University, I think it was. And he said, they asked what the secret of success was. And he said, get over your fear of public speaking. And he said, if you want to be successful in finance, like you would think most of us are sitting, doing our little thing in the background, but that was, and I just went, oh man, I'm never going to make it then. But
and here's the thing, it doesn't matter what profession you're in, you have to speak. Like that's the bottom line, right? So there's so many women and men in business today who know their product inside and out, know their service, know everything, every little fine detail, and their website looks amazing and their business cards looks fantastic, and they spend all this time and investment and energy and money making it so, and yet somebody asks them what they do and they fumble, or somebody asks them to talk about their expertise and they're really not sure what to say and they go on tangents. So speaking, even in finance, is absolutely a key component to success, along with the bookkeeping.
It's true. And I'm going to tell you that right here publicly, I think we're the worst industry for actually having that. I've sat through many, many, many presentations of financial people, and I thought, oh, you should meet Sarah.
And it doesn't matter what profession you're in either too, Kathy, right? Whether it's finance or whatever. One of the things I've learned through working with the founder, Cynthia O'Neill, in LeadHERalliance is everyone needs a mentor. So
Yes.
even in public speaking, whether it's a coach like myself or communications coach, like the work that I do, or the mental health side of things, bottom line is the mentors are key. We've talked about this before. Let's talk finance for a minute. Is my dad taught me everything I know about money. He taught me by showing me that we're frugal and we don't spend and we don't really go out for meals and we don't do this and we don't do that. And sure, he was financially proud and successful. And I guess for me is that's the only perspective I knew, that you didn't do. And it wasn't until I started having mentors in my life that showed me, you know what, there's other ways to be financially successful or financially sound. But it's the mentors that showed me different ways to do it. So I always say about my kids, I am only one perspective. I'm the best perspective. I'll just say, being a mom, they may not say that, but I will say that. No, but I'm only one perspective. I can only share and mentor them through the experiences that I've had, the stories that I share. They need other women in their lives to help them guide in their industry or their expertise or their gifts or what they want and their dreams in their life. So we all need mentors in our life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're going to talk about that, I think, a lot more tonight. We're going to talk about mentors and how you find them. And I think we should talk about the importance of finding the right mentor, and sometimes the damage that can be done with the wrong mentor, or how you change that relationship, right? So, because there's a lot of people out there, and we've seen lots, and they claim to be in that particular realm, and I've seen where there's more damage caused than good. And it's important for people to recognize that they're in, like any relationship, really, you're in a healthy relationship. So we're going to talk to Sarah. Sarah's here all night. You're welcome to write into the chat room. Sarah will share her contact information and the LeadHERalliance contact as well, so that you can check things out. You can join. It's an amazing program that Sarah's going to tell us more about tonight. We're going to talk about mentorship. We're going to talk about who has been good mentors in Sarah's life to help her. And obviously Sarah has been one of mine for the speaking side, so there's no secret there. And we're going to share a lot from Sarah. Will share with us how you get into really evaluating your mentorship, finding that right person. And this is one step. Is LeadHERalliance is one of the first steps to take. Not to steal Sarah's information, but that's the one good step to take, to get yourself a good mentor. So we're going to take our first break of the night. And then when we come back, Sarah's going to share with us all about mentorship, what it means, why it's important, and how do we really start that process? Because I know a lot of people out there have talked, I'd like to have a mentor. I would love to have a mentor, but what does that mean? How does that look? Where do I go? How do I get a mentor? What if they don't want to be my mentor? There's so many questions that I have, which I know come from other people. So I know other people out there have them. A lot of other people have them. So do not go anywhere. You are listening to Financially Speaking on the Inspired Choices Network. I am your host, Kathy Cook Noble. We have Sarah Hilton here all night, and when we come back, we will definitely dive into our mentorship. We'll be right back.
Too many of us get caught up in the unreal lives of reality television and complete to acquire stuff, which is setting us up to accumulate lots of debt. We're scared, confused, and don't know who to talk to. By tuning into Financially Speaking radio show with financial advisor and educator Kathy Cook Noble, you'll learn tips you can use to improve your financial health, which in turn can improve your overall health and make for a very happy life. Live a life you can afford and enjoy It is possible. Listen for Financially Speaking Radio Show every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Mountain, and 1 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is the Financially Speaking Show with financial advisor and educator Kathy Cook Noble. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Kathy@bookkeepplus.ca. Now back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Financially Speaking on the Inspired Choices Network. I am your host, Kathy Cook Noble, and our special guest tonight is Sarah Hilton, and she is the director at LeadHERalliance, and she's going to share with us more about the mentorship program, but she's also going to share with us mentorship in general, how to know you need one, which the answer is you do. And then she's going to talk to us about why it's important, especially for women. So Sarah, I'm going to turn it over to you because you have a great amount of information that we're anxious to hear.
That's awesome. Just make sure to cut me off when I need to, because I could talk about mentorship for days. Oprah Winfrey says a mentor is someone who can see the hope and the dreams inside of you. And I think that really sums up mentorship. Mentorship, why it touches my heart is because I have a couple of great mentors in my life. One of them is actually a woman that doesn't even know that I exist. I am just another person in her community. But she's my mentor because she keeps showing up. So when I was in grade school, Hazel McCallan from Mississauga, who was a mayor for many years, I think she actually holds a title for mayor for the longest amount of time. She used to show up at the public school and give a message of, hope or inspiration or anything. And I'd sit there and I'd say, oh, that's really neat. That's amazing. And then I'd see her at a fundraiser out in the community, perhaps sharing a message or just mingling with people and talking to people. And then she would show up again and again and again in different ways, in different formats of my life. Through COVID, I did some work with seniors just this past couple of years. And there she showed up again because now she has retired from being a mayor. She had her 100th birthday. And she was now working with one of the senior organizations to help them share the message that seniors are people too, that go out there and live life as a senior is a positive and wonderful experience. So she keeps showing up in my life. That's a mentor. Her messages resonate with me. I remember her as being someone I was inspiring to. So then I have my mom. And my mom has 3 core values or 3 core life lessons that she has taught me over the years. And I live by these. One is wake up and be proud and celebrate the fact that you woke up that morning. Put your feet on the ground, feel the earth below you, and say, hey, what a great day, here I am. And I know we've heard that before, but when your mom's message comes loud and clear and she lives life that way, you start to just follow that mantra. The second one is she says, just smile. Everything has challenges and there's obstacles in your way. Just smile. For some reason, it helps you get through them, no matter what. And the third one is to walk every day. Get fresh air, be a part of your community, and just walk, clear your head. And these are the 3 things I live with. She's one of my mentors. And then I have different mentors for business and different mentors for parents and different mentors in my life that I watch, or I explore, I read about, I talk to, have deep conversations with. Doesn't matter, but the people in your life that can be mentors will help you get through whatever comes your way. So here we are, and this is what I love. You asked me a tough question about, how do you know who the right mentor is? Well, first, I always say, go with your gut. If something doesn't feel right, that mentor is not for you. And so they can share all the great. Facebook's a good example. You're on social media and you think someone's a mentor, you start following them, watch what they do, watch their videos, listen to their podcasts. And if things are not feeling right, or you're not getting that really inspiring and motivational or questions that really resonate with you, probably not a good mentor for you in your life. So how do you find the right mentor? Look around you. They're everywhere. In LeadHERalliance, what we do is we match people. And that's one of the roles that I've done for the last year in kind of the birth of LeadHERalliance, is to see who matched with who. What happened in those matches? Why do we match the people a certain way? So we have a general cohorts. We have a couple of those. And those are young women finishing their post-secondary school, moving into their first career. And we match them with women in careers in different industries. Could be arts, could be finance, could be what else? It could be business. It could be anything at all. And we match them. And it's not just about what they do every day. So if a young person like my daughter, Amelia, she's in the arts, she just finished her musical theater diploma, and she's now looking at a very difficult time for, her big break. But in that, we have matched her to a woman that has done it all. She's toured with Jersey Boys. She's been on the stages. She's been in movies. She started her own business as a coach in musical theater. So now, even though I can give my daughter great advice, she has someone in her circle that talks the same language, that can support her in the same ways, that have been through the experiences that maybe that she'll go through. And that relationship is really strong. And it's not just about the profession, it's about how they approach life. So Amelia, she needs to know that behind the scenes, she needs to know how things work. That's how her brain works. Well, her mentor, Allison, has figured some of those things out, and that's how she thinks. And she comes at it. That's why she started a business while things in the theater world might be a little bit slow. So she's found a way to make it work. And that's really encouraging and inspiring to Amelia. Then we have LeadHERalliance. So LeadHERalliance is matching women that are truck drivers. Like, we mean the big rigs here, the truck drivers, and they might be in their second or their third career. They might be 50 years old and starting it for the very first time. And we match them with a woman that has been in a truck driver for many, many years. And so the first time that one of our mentees, let's say Vanita, drives in the winter in the snow for her first solo drive, her mentor is right there with her. You've got this, Vanita, you're going to do it. Just, okay, let's go through your checkpoint, and really walking. And even though she's not really beside her, she feels like she's right beside her, helping her with those difficult first times. And then we have LeadHERtrades. Now, so many more women are getting into trades, and we need more. We match them with someone that's been in the trades. One of the hardest things for young women walking into the trades for the first time is being there, and 90 to 99% are going to be male. And she's walking into that environment. She knows her trade. She's gone to school. She's figured it out. She's excited about it. And then all of a sudden, one thing happens that first day. Who does she talk to? And again, a mother, an aunt, a friend can say all kinds of things, but we don't speak that same language. She needs to talk to somebody that's in the trades, that have gone through that, have found how to set their boundaries, have found ways to communicate to the male populated workplace, have found ways to excel and succeed in getting some promotions or becoming a leader in that industry. So it's fascinating how the matches are, yes, it starts with what profession you're in or what career you're going for, but then it quickly develops into, your conversations, what type of person you have, what interests you have, what kind of thinker you are, how do you approach different challenges or different successes. And all of that is taken in consideration when we match for mentorship.
That's amazing. And you reminded me when a very long time ago, because our business, is predominantly male industry business, our family business. Well, finance too, actually, for that matter. I managed to stay in all the male dominated industries, but not by choice. I guess I just realized that, but I remember being younger and I never felt that way because I had my brother in the business and my dad, and I talked to them and I never felt like it was different, but I distinctly remember being at a meeting and it was land development and there was 17 men in the room and me. And the only other woman that came in was the assistant of the one to ask if anyone wanted coffee or water or tea. And I remember thinking it was intimidating. It was very intimidating. I would have been in my late 20s and I for sure was running the entire land development, our business. But I remember very clearly one of the guys calling on me to ask my opinion. And the reason that I felt like I had to have twice as much as everybody else in the room just to have a voice. Like I had to have twice as much education. I had to have twice as much work ethic. I had to work twice as many hours because that's the reputation that would give me the voice. And it would have, and when just listening to you talk about the women in trucking, even in the trades, it would be so refreshing at the time to have had someone to call and have that conversation, because as great as my dad was at the time, as great as my brother was at the time, they kind of fit in because they're men. And you know, it's incredible because I remember how incredibly red I went. And I was sure everyone could hear my heart beating because it was so loud when they called on me to ask me. It was about a road layout structure. And I remember I'm like, I had it all figured out. But when I heard my name, like I could hear the beating of my heart in my own ears. And it's sometimes it's overwhelming. And I can see why women get out of the trades because it is very overwhelming. And when you have that feeling, and this is incredible to me, like incredible.
And, you know, a couple of things that you touched on that, you know, really enlightened and supported what LeadHERalliance is all about. One is that you're right. You have two brothers. So do I. And they were older brothers and they used to tease me and we used to goof around and we used to have a lot of fun, and they called me brat because I was the youngest and probably spoiled. But, you know, we had that relationship. So I'm quite comfortable when I'm around males. Like I can joke, I can, you know, chat away and find something to talk about and all of those kind of pieces. And some women in trades go into trades because they come from an environment where they're comfortable in that kind of atmosphere and kind of, you know, way of working, because they might have been from a farm, or they might have had a dad and brothers who were in the trades and they got that, or they had their brother's friends hang around, you know, all of that kind of atmosphere. If they walk in, they may have different boundaries than a young woman that maybe has had sexual assault and now she's walking into a male populated field. Like, wow, the boundaries, the conversations, the feelings, the emotions, the what's okay, what's not, like all of these really tough conversations. Who do you have those with? You know, and every person's experience and background and stories are different. So yeah. It works for trucking too. Most trucking women are trained by men. So sitting in the rig together for their first week at work, traveling with a male. And you know what? Sometimes you just need to pick up the phone to somebody and say, hey, did you experience this? Or, you know, he thinks, you know, backing up is so easy. For me, I'm a little bit anxious about that. And you want to talk to another woman. And so I think those are kind of the stories that have happened through this. And then in another way, LeadHERalliance. So, you know, my daughter, Jessie and her fiance are, you know, looking at buying an inn. So they've got this 5-year plan to buy an inn. And interestingly enough, her mentor owns 3 or 4 inns in Stratford. Wonderful mentor. So they've been working and talking and having conversations, and Jessie's been learning from her. And Shelley will tell you she's learned from Jessie. It's been a wonderful connection. But now all of a sudden she's looking at building this in the eastern area, like so out in the Maritimes actually. And so all of a sudden she needed different kinds of mentors that would help her understand what that culture was like, the community was like. And from LeadHERalliance, 3 of the mentors stepped up to help her with that transition. So LeadHERalliance is not just about one mentor, it's about how do you build a community of mentors, depending on what challenges or what goals you have and all of that. And that's why it becomes a community. And then we've got our truckers with our tradeswomen and our general cohorts, and they meet up once a month. You're one of our speakers on money. And it's so interesting to hear their different perspectives and different ideas and learning from different people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're going to take our second break, and we come back. We're going to talk. I'd like to ask you more about the community and how it's mentorship. When you think of it, it's one-on-one, but it's not exactly a one-on-one situation, but that is the perception. So when we come back, we'll talk more to Sarah about mentorship and growing it from just a one-on-one, if you will, relationship, and then having a community of mentors and how to make that work, and how much time mentors spend with each other when you spend with your mentor, and whether or not it has to be face-to-face, Zoom, like we're not in the same room, but you have a conversation and work with people. So don't go anywhere. We're going to take our second break. Sarah's here all night. You are listening to Financially Speaking on the Inspired Choices Network. I am your host, Kathy Cook Noble, and we will be right back with Sarah Hilton.
Too many of us get caught up in the unreal lives of reality television and complete to acquire stuff, which is setting us up to accumulate lots of debt. We're scared, confused, and don't know who to talk to. By tuning into Financially Speaking radio show with financial advisor and educator Kathy Cook Noble, you'll learn tips you can use to improve your financial health, which in turn can improve your overall health and make for a very happy life. Live a life you can afford and enjoy. It is possible. Listen for Financially Speaking radio show every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Mountain, and 1 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Money is complicated, right? Actually, no, it's not. You don't have to be a trader on Wall Street to get a handle on your money. TV shows often instill fear to keep you believing you can't understand it or do anything yourself. If dealing with your finances brings up a lot of other F words, then you need to read All Ladies Should Use the F Word, A Guide to Loving Your Finances by Kathy Cook Noble. Kathy helps you take control of your finances and leave the other F word, fear, in the dust.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Financially Speaking Show with financial advisor and educator Kathy Cook Noble. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Kathy@bookkeepplus.ca. Now back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Financially Speaking on the Inspired Choices Network. I'm your host, Kathy Cook Noble, and our very special guest tonight is Sarah Hilton, and she's sharing with us a lot of really important information about mentorship and the LeadHERalliance program that I encourage everyone to check out. It's LeadHERalliance.com. I'm going to put it in our chat room, and I'll also put our Facebook, the facebook.com/LeadHERalliance in our chat room as well. So anyone could plug themselves in and connect with Sarah there, as well as some many other inspirational, if I can, and really impressive women. Like I've met some of them, and it's impressive. And I know you hear a lot about programs, and Lord knows I've had my share of programs and courses and stuff, and this one is actually quite impressive. So I encourage everyone to check it out. Sarah, I want to jump back in with you, and you're talking about mentorship and how much time people spend with what people would that have not had a mentor but think I'd really love to have somebody that I could bounce ideas off and talk to me about what I'm doing, if I'm doing the right thing, maybe introducing me to people in my industry, how does this help me build my financial portfolio or my financial dream? So how do people engage in all those items?
Absolutely. So it's as simple as just reach out. And as you said, you shared the website and there's an email there, and there's ways to connect. You can call me up. That's fine too. We believe that every woman that is going into something new, so a new career such as trucking or trades or arts or business or whatever it is, should have a mentor. And I guess the biggest difference between LeadHERalliance and most other, I'm not saying all, but most other mentorship programs, is they hook you up and then that's it. Away you go with your mentor. LeadHERalliance believes that there's not just one mentor for every person. So as I mentioned with Jessie, she had her one mentor, but then some of the things that she was now talking about went outside of where Shelley was comfortable or knew about. So we were able through the program to connect her to other mentors that would meet that need. So every month we have a session. Like I mentioned, Kathy, you're one of our sessions, but we have sessions on resiliency, on mindset, on communication, lots of different kind of topics that all women can benefit learning differently or learning more about. So for absolutely for our young women, they're hearing some of this information for the first time. But our mentors are saying, hey, I love sitting in on these because I get to hear information delivered in a different way, learn something new, pick up something new. But it also gives me a little bit of a direction of what I can talk to my mentee about. So if you think back to Jessie and Amelia, Amelia's in the arts, Jessie's in hospitality. Amelia hears your talk, Kathy, on finances. And Amelia goes to her mentor and they talk about, how do I live as an actor when I have gigs, and then for a long time I don't have a gig, and then I have to have a part-time job, and then I have to, they're looking at totally different ways of building a financial secure and successful life. Well, Allison, her mentor, has been through some of that, through the struggles, through some of the challenges, but also through some of the gains and some of the successes. So they're able to talk about that in their way. Jessie, on the other hand, here's your talk, same talk, but she goes to her mentor and they talk about, how do you invest to an in? How do you build your first in? Where do you get investors from? How do you put money away so that you have a portfolio that banks like if you want to borrow money? So their conversation is totally different, even though they heard the same session. So the sessions lead some conversation topics for their mentee match to talk about. But then what we find is, even though for mentors, we ask for 2 hours of your commitment, one to your mentee and one to this session, we find that there is so much more than that. As I said, those little check-ins through text or through a conversation on a phone or WhatsApp or whatever it is. Hey, how you doing today, Jessie? Or how you doing today, Anna? Or what's new? Or I knew you had that interview today. How'd it go? And those little check-ins are always awesome. And then we have workshops that are specific to an industry. So trucking workshops, how to find the right carrier, what happens if you get stuck on the road, little tips and tricks around how to live on the road. And for trades, it could be something completely different. How do you work with the other trades? You're a boiler maker or electrician. How do you work with all the other components that creates the house or the industrial unit that you're building? And then for our general cohorts, we have things like resume writing, how to work LinkedIn and make it, easy for your, what your goal is or what your learning needs to be for LinkedIn. So lots of workshops as well. So commitment can be as little as a couple of hours to really help a young mentee or a new driver or a new tradeswoman. But we find that the matches, they love to participate in lots of different things. This Friday, we're having a connecting conversation, just a social time, not just that, that awkward conversation. I pose some pretty interesting kind of out of the box questions, like plain 25 questions. And it's amazing how the women from trucking, the women from trades, the women from the arts or business all answer so differently. It's a beautiful, beautiful conversation.
That's very cool. That is very cool. And I know I know that who you are talking about with the founder, and we haven't talked about Cynthia O'Neill yet. We mentioned her. She also has quite an experience in her past of running business and organizations and stuff. What really prompted the founding of the Lead Her Alliance program with her?
Sure. So Cynthia O'Neill, and you can find her on lots of different sites. You can start with LeadHER Alliance because it will take you to her other work that she does, Impact with Cynthia O, it's called. She is all about women. She's been running Power the Purse conferences throughout Canada over the last few years until COVID hit. And she had to find a new way to help women lift other women up. So at those conferences, she would always have a group or offer tickets to the local university for some of the women to come and join, business women come to join the conference and learn from the speakers. She's always had speakers. She's always had kind of the energy of women helping other women. So when COVID hit, it was a perfect time to launch this dream that she had of Lead Her Alliance. From there, it's been a year. It's grown so quickly, so out of our even dream of what it would look like in a year. And that is because people are looking, women are looking for those mentors, that community to support them. My role has changed too. So I started with just being that ear to everything Cynthia was dreaming. Okay, so what does that mean? How does that look? Asking her the tough questions to say, how do you build that? And then we put the program together. And I've been a program director with Lead Her Alliance for a year, helping her navigate what's working, what's not, how are people doing, how do we build bigger, better? And now I'm taking on the role of VP for Lead Her Trucking because I do have my other business as well that I do as well. So, Lead Her Trucking, I'm going to focus more on one of the industries to say what's going on, where are the challenges. We work closely. Most of our trucking women are from the US and we're building the Canadian side. Most of our tradeswomen are in Canada and we'll be building some US. And now we're starting, we're just in the process of starting Lead Her Global with women from India. So that's very exciting and coming up. So that's going to be very, very interesting and just a different feel altogether. So Lead Her Alliance is for any woman and there's roles for everybody. If you're a mentee, like you said, if you're looking for a mentor, if you don't have that community of women, if you have a specific desire or dream and you'd like a mentor that fits that, let's help you find that. If you're a mentor, someone that knows, hey, you know what? I have some stories. I've been in business. I've tried different things. I once was a person that didn't know what to do next. Maybe you would be a great mentor and you probably would. Some women say to me, I don't think I could be a mentor. I don't really mentor. I'll ask you 2 or 3 questions and you better believe that you'll probably sit there and go, wow, maybe I am a mentor. So it's for everyone. And then our third way to get involved is to be a sponsor. So how we fund this whole thing, which is really important because let's be real, any business idea, any social enterprise, any nonprofit needs money to keep it sustained. So we have some incredible sponsors, Women in Trucking. We have one for the General, Robin Tingley. We have trades. We have a company run by a woman, Tesk Construction. So we have lots of sponsors going on and you can sponsor a pod or an idea for Lead Her, whatever that could be. So it's continually growing, but mentorship is the key.
That's awesome. That is so cool. I know we're just coming up to our last break of the night, but I do want to ask you, maybe when we come back, because I have about 30 seconds before we have to go to break. So maybe what we'll do when you come back, I know you have some pretty cool giveaway opportunities that Lead Her Alliance has, and maybe you can share a little bit about that. I know we've touched on it, but maybe we'll just summarize that and maybe lay that out for everybody so they don't miss it. We've definitely shared in our chat room, but I just want people to know that are listening. If you are listening to us live, then it's leadheralliance.com. If you are listening to us on the podcast replay, which maybe you've downloaded the app, which is absolutely free, by the way, either for your Apple, your Android, rewind and write this down because you want to be able to make sure you have that leadheralliance.com site. So you can, as soon as you get there, you can find Sarah, you can find all about the programs. You can see some of the program information on what they're doing. So leadheralliance.com is your key your key magic piece of information to get you started. So when people ask, how do you start? That's how you start, right there. You go to that website, and that will just lead you right into where Sarah is, and she will help you connect with either as a mentor, or she'll help you connect to get a mentor match. So that's important information. And when we come back, Sarah is going to talk to us a little bit more about the opportunities that LeadHERalliance has. So do not go anywhere. We're going to take our last break of the night. We're going to come back and wrap things up with Sarah. Super grateful that she's been here tonight. I think this is so important. And I will tell you personally, it would have changed my life so much faster if I had had a mentor. And I'll tell you real quick, there's a friend of mine in the finance industry. I've known her a very long time. I did not go to her when I started out in finance. A couple of years ago, we connected up again, and she's been in the industry a very, very long time. She's looking to retire, actually. And we have lunch together every once in a while, and she has become a mentor, and she is specifically looking for a younger mentor. Years ago, she was looking for a younger mentor. And I was like, man, we were looking for the same thing. We did not communicate. Had we known that, my life would have changed so much faster because of having that one person who could have answered all these questions that frustrated, and where you're like, I want to get out, I can't do it anymore. And it's life changing. And even now, having an established practice and just having those conversations with her are phenomenal. Just, you can't measure that in dollars. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You're listening to Financially Speaking on the Inspired Choices Network.
Too many of us get caught up in the unreal lives of reality television and complete to acquire stuff, which is setting us up to accumulate lots of debt. We're scared, confused, and don't know who to talk to. By tuning into Financially Speaking radio show with financial advisor and educator Kathy Cook Noble, you'll learn tips you can use to improve your financial health, which in turn can improve your overall health and make for a very happy life. Live a life you can afford and enjoy. It is possible. Listen for Financially Speaking radio show every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Mountain, and 1 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is the Financially Speaking Show with financial advisor and educator Kathy Cook Noble. To participate in the program, join our live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Kathy@bookkeepplus.ca. Now back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. You are listening to Financially Speaking on the Inspired Choices Network. I am your host, Kathy Cook Noble, and Sarah Hilton has been our special guest tonight, talking about LeadHERalliance and the importance. And I'm going to use the word value because that's usually in the financial world. And there is a huge value. And this, it's odd for me to say this is not stuff we measure in dollars and cents. So there's a lot of value and important information in having a mentor and being mentored and being open to being mentored, which I think is very cool. So Sarah, I know there's some great opportunities there with the LeadHERalliance, and maybe I'll just get, if you don't mind, just going through a little bit more of that. I know, inviting women out to join it and so forth.
Awesome. So as I mentioned, there's three kind of places that you can look at yourself and say, do I fit in there? One is, if you're a young woman or a woman in change or a transition who's starting something new, and you think that a mentor could be helpful to you, we think, but you need to think that way and think, you know what, that might help me get into my goal quicker or help me through some challenges I'm going through. I know that you have a lot of business women that are on these calls. And so to the business women, think of your journey that got you to where you are today, because a lot of, especially young women coming out of school, their university or college program, now they've got to go and enter the world. And sometimes they just lost of how to start that journey. So you'd be a great mentor. Mentees, just call up, let's get you connected. And sometimes it takes me, if you're in a career choice that is a little unique or different, that's how Lead Her Trucking got started. Because, one woman said, hey, I could use a mentor, and we saw that this was something that was really needed. So you never know, please reach out. Mentors, we need you. We need you so much. If you're not sure you're right for mentorship or that you are interested, all you can do is ask and call, and we can have that conversation for sure. If you're interested as a business owner and want to sponsor, that always is a great way to connect to new people, network, share in the conversation, and also, most importantly, mentor other women. Finally, though, there is so much out there that there are missed opportunities. Kathy knows this, but back in 2000, I went bankrupt. And I went bankrupt because of three things. I didn't ask for help, and I didn't have a mentor, someone to call on. But thirdly is because I didn't know what I didn't know. And I got into business thinking, oh my gosh, okay, so I can figure this out. I can figure this out. I can figure this out. And the amount of time that it took me to figure out all the different components of business and how long it took me to figure them out, it was too late. So today, as you're listening today, whether it's your financial route, Kathy's one of our speakers, as I said, or if it's a mindset to get you in the right mindset, if it's those sessions that you really want to hold on to, please join us. If you need a mentor, please join us. Mentors, if you just need a community where you're with like-minded women, but also with women that do things out of your circle, you should come and join us. The women that truck drive have taught me so much over the last year. I can't even tell you how inspiring they are. I'll give you one story if I have time, Kathy, just to close this up a little bit. Is I went and I met one of our mentors, Shirley Gray, in the States in Florida. She stopped with her big rig to meet me because I was there for visiting my mom. And she brought my 89-year-old mom and helped her get into the big rig. And there you are. If you go to my Facebook, you'll see it. And she's sitting behind the wheel. She's a tiny little thing, my mom, and she's like behind this huge wheel. And she called her trucker mama. And she taught us so much about how she lives in that truck. And I had been complaining all through COVID. Oh, it's so hard to work out in my home. Oh, there's chairs around and there's the kitchen table and you've got to move furniture every time, whatever. So Shirley, on her panel in her little rig, and I mean little, that she sleeps in, she has her exercises that she does every day. And she's found ways to use her truck as her fitness equipment. Wow. Totally inspiring. And then the trades, walk through your house, just walk through your house. Look at your bathroom, your kitchen, if you're trying to get something done in your home right now, you might be like us and find it hard to get contractors and people. You know what? Those trades help your house become the home it is today. It helps your business become the beautiful space that you can serve and help other people in. Our tradeswomen have such clarity and knowledge around their expertise, and they are so proud of it. And that's what I noticed from the women in trades. And then our young women, they've had a tough couple of years coming out of school and figuring out how to navigate this world. And my heart goes to you. So please reach out and ask for a mentor.
That is awesome. And right on timing. You don't even know it. That was perfectly timed. I encourage everyone, you've got nothing to lose, and reach out and talk to Sarah about it. The only thing you're missing out on is an opportunity. And it's very rare that I get to say that. So I will share with you that what I've learned from one of my mentors named Sarah, every time I go and I remember you saying to me, before you go up to speak, you get all nervous and you said, just take a deep breath and say, this is going to be fun. And it changes your mindset. And I still remember that. I still do it every time I have to go up and do anything. And whether it's a Zoom call with a bunch of people, whether it's a new client that I'm nervous about, or whether I'm speaking in front of an audience of people, I always remember that. Take a breath and say, this is going to be fun. And I think you've given me a lot of good advice, but that really is great advice. And I still use it to this day. So thank you for that. And thank you for coming on tonight. I'm super excited that you were able to come here. We'll have you back again. Absolutely. Whenever you can, we'll be happy to have you back. And we're here every Monday night, and we're tackling different financial topics and different topics that will impact your life to make things happy and healthy for you.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Financially Speaking Radio Show. Kathy Cook Noble will return next Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Mountain, and 1 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.